What if I told you that the chronic fatigue, brain fog, or anxiety you've been battling aren't the problem? They're the result of deeper, fixable imbalances. Let's uncover the 6 root causes behind nearly every chronic illness and why they affect everyone differently. Here's the thing. Chronic illness doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not random, and it's not something that you're doomed to live with forever. Most of the time, these frustrating, life-disrupting symptoms trace back to a common set of root causes. The difference in how they show up, whether as fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, or even something entirely different, comes down to your unique biology and how it interacts with your environment. And I get it. If you've been feeling dismissed, like your symptoms are just a part of aging, or you've been told that everything looks normal on your lab tests, it's incredibly frustrating. You might even feel overwhelmed, wondering, what am I missing? If that sounds like you, let me just say, you are not alone. You are definitely not imagining things, and I'm really glad you're here. Hi, I'm Dr. Lexi Watson, a certified functional medicine practitioner, and today we're going to connect the dots and make sense of it all. We'll dive into the 6 root causes that are at the heart of nearly every chronic illness. We'll explore why the same causes can create different symptoms in different people, like anxiety in one person and fatigue in another, and most importantly, why understanding this could completely change the way you approach your health. Because once you know what's really going on underneath the surface, you can start addressing the true problem, not just chasing symptoms. And that's where the real healing happens. So before we dive into those 6 root causes, it's important to understand what's really going on behind the scenes of chronic illness. These symptoms you're experiencing, whether it's brain fog, memory loss, fatigue, anxiety, or even physical issues like joint pain or hormonal imbalances, are not the problem themselves. They're the signals that something deeper is out of balance in your body. And at the heart of most chronic illnesses, one word: inflammation. No matter the symptoms, whether it's brain fog, anxiety, or fatigue, chronic inflammation is often the common thread. It's like a fire smoldering inside your body, triggered by the root causes that we'll explore today. You see, inflammation is your body's natural defense mechanism. It's how your immune system fights off invaders, repairs damage, and keeps you safe. But when it becomes chronic, when that fire doesn't go out, it can start causing more harm than good. That's when you start seeing symptoms pop up, especially in the brain and nervous system, like what you're experiencing now. Take depression or anxiety, for example. Chronic inflammation in the brain, often caused by poor gut health or toxins, can disrupt the production of key neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine that regulate your mood. Or think about ADHD. Inflammation can interfere with the brain's ability to focus and process information efficiently. But it's not just about the brain. That same inflammation can show up in other ways, like thyroid dysfunction, diabetes, or persistent fatigue that leaves you struggling to get through the day. It's all connected. And while the symptoms might look different from person to person, the cause is often the same: that chronic, smoldering inflammation. The good news is, when we address what's fueling that fire, those deeper imbalances we're about to explore, you can not only calm the inflammation, but also help your body return to balance and heal itself. So let's take a closer look at what's actually sparking that inflammation and how it's creating the symptoms you've been living with. So let's break down the 6 key root causes behind nearly every chronic illness. These are the underlying drivers that fuel that smoldering inflammation I talked about, and why your symptoms might be showing up the way they are. The first root cause of chronic illness is toxins. Every day, we're exposed to heavy metals, mold, and environmental chemicals from things like pollution, processed foods, or even the products that we use in our homes. Over time, these toxins can overwhelm your liver and disrupt your body's natural detox pathways, driving inflammation and wreaking havoc at a cellular level. When that overwhelm occurs, toxins can hit the brain, where they can cause neuroinflammation, which often shows up as brain fog, depression, or even memory issues. But they don't stop there. These same toxins can lead to issues such as hormonal imbalances, fatigue, and issues like liver overload. I'll be talking more about toxins in upcoming videos, so stay tuned for those. The second root cause of chronic illness is gut imbalance. This is a big one. If you've ever heard the term leaky gut, that's exactly what we're talking about here. Poor digestion, imbalances in your microbiome, or inflammation in your gut lining can cause problems far beyond your stomach. Your gut and your brain are deeply connected through something called the gut-brain axis. When your gut is out of balance, it can lead to anxiety, ADHD-like symptoms, or even early cognitive decline. Not cool, right? But it's not just the brain that feels the effects. You might notice bloating, joint pain, or even autoimmune conditions tied to an unhealthy gut. To learn more about how your gut health affects your brain, check out these videos here. The third root cause of chronic illness is allergens and sensitivities. Whether to foods, chemicals, or even environmental triggers like pollen, these sensitivities can activate your immune system and create systemic or body-wide inflammation. When that inflammation hits your brain, it can cause things like migraines, memory issues, or even irritability. And if you've ever felt exhausted or had unexplained skin issues like rashes or eczema, sensitivities could be playing a role as well. The fourth root cause of chronic illness is microbes. Microbes are another sneaky root cause. We're talking about things like candida overgrowth, chronic infections like Epstein-Barr virus, EBV, or Lyme disease, or imbalances in your body's natural flora, which technically also falls under the gut imbalance category. But when these microbes overburden your immune system, they can leave you feeling exhausted, foggy, or anxious. And it's not just your brain that suffers. Again, chronic infections can lead to lingering pain, weakened immunity, and even autoimmune dysfunctions. The fifth root cause of chronic illness is stress. Something so many of us deal with daily, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical stress, it takes a toll on your hormones, your immune system, and your ability to heal. In the brain, stress can contribute to anxiety, depression, and burnout by disrupting your cortisol levels and keeping your body stuck in fight or flight mode. Beyond the brain, stress can lead to adrenal fatigue, unstable blood sugar, and that constant feeling of being run down. To learn more about how to mitigate this root cause of chronic illness, check out this video right here. And the sixth root cause of chronic illness is nutritional deficiencies. Thanks to modern farming practices and diets high in processed foods, aka the standard American diet, which does in fact spell sad, many of us are missing key nutrients like magnesium, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids. In your brain, this can show up as memory issues, mood swings, ADHD, fatigue, any of that. And across the rest of your body, it can weaken your immune system, cause brittle hair or nails, and leave you feeling less resilient overall. For tips on the best foods to fuel your brain with, check out this video next. Now, here's where things get even more interesting and honestly a bit more complicated. These root causes don't usually exist in isolation. They overlap and interact, often amplifying their effects on your body and brain. For example, chronic stress can disrupt your gut health, leading to a leaky gut and an imbalanced microbiome. That gut imbalance can then trigger sensitivities to foods you used to be able to tolerate, creating even more inflammation. Or consider toxins. When your liver is overloaded with toxins, it can lead to nutrient deficiencies because your body simply doesn't have the resources to detox properly and maintain balance elsewhere. This is why chronic symptoms can feel so overwhelming. It's rarely just one thing. It's the perfect storm of overlapping issues that keeps your body stuck in a state of inflammation and dysfunction. But the good news is that by identifying and addressing these root causes individually and together, you can start calming the storm and give your body the space it needs to heal. So now that we've uncovered the 6 root causes to nearly every chronic illness, you might be wondering, why do these same triggers like toxins or stress affect people so differently? How do all these causes interact with your unique biology to create your specific symptoms? This is where bioindividuality and epigenetics come into play. Here's the key idea. Your genes determine how your body responds to these root causes. But your environment, things like your diet, stress levels, and toxin exposure, determines which of those genes get switched on or off. This process is called epigenetics. Think of your genes as the hardware in a computer. They're what you're born with. Epigenetics is like the software, determining how that hardware functions based on the input it receives. And that input, it's all of those root causes we just talked about. Let's look at an example. Imagine 2 people are exposed to mold in their home. One person might develop severe anxiety because the mold triggers neuroinflammation, disrupting their brain chemistry. The other person might feel constantly exhausted because their mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses in their cells, are being damaged by the same mold toxins. Same root cause, completely different symptoms. The same thing happens with stress. For one person, chronic stress might lead to depression, disrupting their serotonin levels and leaving them feeling stuck in a low mood. For someone else, that same stress could contribute to ADHD-like symptoms, making it hard to focus or stay organized. And for others still, stress might accelerate early memory loss, setting the stage for cognitive decline. But these symptoms aren't limited to the brain. The same triggers, like mold, stress, or poor gut health, could lead to diabetes in one person, joint pain in another, or even thyroid dysfunction in someone else. It all depends on how your unique biology interacts with the environment around you. And this is why there's no one-size-fits-all solution for chronic illness. And it's also why understanding your own body, your genetics, your environment, and how they interact is so critical to finding a path to healing. Once you start identifying and addressing those root causes in a way that works for your unique biology, everything can change. And it can be the key to reclaiming your health and your life. At this point, you might be feeling a mix of emotions, maybe a little relief that there's a deeper explanation for what's going on, but also some frustration, and that's completely understandable. If that's you, let me know in the comments below. And if you've ever been told that your symptoms are just a normal part of aging, or worse, that you'll just have to live with it, I want you to know that's not the whole story, not even close. Your symptoms are not random. They're not just in your head, they're signals that your body is trying to send, pointing to deeper imbalances that need to be addressed. And here's the good news. When we take the time to identify those root causes, the toxins, the stress, the gut imbalances, etc., your body can start doing what it's designed to do: heal itself. Our bodies are incredibly resilient. They're always working to protect and heal us, but sometimes they need the right support to get back on track. And that's exactly what addressing these root causes does. It gives your body the chance to heal and thrive again. So if you've been feeling stuck, or if you're wondering if there's hope for you, I want you to hear this loud and clear. There is. You don't have to accept feeling this way as your new normal. When we address these deeper imbalances, things can change. Your symptoms don't have to define you. If you're ready to take that first step in reclaiming your brain and overcoming those chronic symptoms, I have something really special just for you. I'd love to invite you to watch my free training where I'll share exactly how to begin addressing these root causes so that you can start feeling like yourself again. Just click the link in the description below to get started. It's completely free. You literally have nothing to lose. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more tips and insights on taking charge of your brain health. And if you know someone who could benefit from this video, feel free to share it with them too. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. See you in the training.